What's up, Putos?
Hey everybody, we're back after 1 year off. 1 week off, sorry.
One week
not 1 year,
off.
that would be really bad. What happened? It was raining, right? And
Yeah,
there was
it was raining
floods.
really hard. Yeah, it was starting to flood outside. EDSA was like a parking lot.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
Yeah, and
EDSA was flooding.
Yeah, and the Buendia area by South Superhighway was, I think, waist deep. So, we didn't want people to come into the studio and get stuck here and
True.
whatnot, so...
I wouldn't mind getting
shows.
stuck here because I could just use your fiber internet.
Okay.
But that's me. Anyway, Google I/O happened then, and we didn't get to talk about it, but we're going to be talking about it this week.
Yeah,
instead.
so we're going to have 1 week late.
1 week late Google I/O discussion.
Yeah, but before that, let's go with the heads up.
Oh yeah. Besides Google I/O, the Steam sale also happened.
Oh yeah, for the gamers out there, that the Steam sale happened. Summer Steam sale.
Summer Steam sale. So if you didn't know that, you already missed it. But if you did, then you probably spent way too much money. I didn't spend way too much money this time.
I do remember you telling me that you were using willpower.
That was willpower.
I saw your receipt.
It's like $48. That's fine.
Yeah, that's...
But anyway, so what I did is I put my limit at one full game, which games usually are like $60, right? So I said, okay, that's my ceiling. So I got around $56. I got a bunch of games. So yeah.
You know how much I spent?
$4.
$4.
Because you got The Witcher 2.
I got The Witcher 2. Oh yeah, speaking of which, GOG.com,
Right.
the site that you recommended to me.
Formerly known as Good Old Games.
Oh, so that's what GOG means?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, the nice thing about that site is that it basically gives you DRM-free games. And for example, like I bought via the Steam sale,
Witcher
$4, Witcher 2, and you get the CD key from Steam.
And you can redeem it.
And then you redeem it from GOG, and you get DRM-free.
DRM-free copies of Witcher 1 and 2 if you own both games.
Yeah, I just got 2 because I only bought 1.
And if you own both games, both of them go towards a discount, a loyalty discount towards Witcher 3, which comes out next year.
Oh, you mean I should have gotten Witcher 1?
So you get a bigger discount.
Okay.
But I'm going to buy Witcher 3 on PS4, so it doesn't really matter
My
much to
problem though with using my credit card, well, that particular credit card is every time I make a purchase, my wife gets a text.
And she has to like confirm it, right?
From the bank, yeah, and
So she'd see like, oh, Witcher 1, Witcher 2.
No, she won't see that. She'll say, it was charged, and then she'll go, hey, Miguel, what did you just buy? A game. It's not such a good...
it's hard to convince them
Yeah.
for that. But anyway, GOG is really cool, DRM free, which means you can just cop.
You know what? This is like what the RIAA and the MPAA should have done a long time ago. Right? Because now people would the DRM thing really doesn't stop the pirates from pirating. It stops the people who are genuinely wanting to buy games, and then they're getting into trouble.
Yeah, they
because
run
of all
into
the DRM.
issues, right?
They run into issues, and then these are the people who don't know how to bypass things. And so therefore what happens is they start learning how to bypass things, and then they become pirates.
They end up pirating. And some people, like the people with the know-how, when they see games with really intrusive DRM, they'll say flat out, I'm so pirating this game.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just a sign of like protest against the DRM.
EA did this with
SimCity.
And it was a terrible...
They did it in a different way though. They did it...
Yeah, it was you have to be online
You
all
have
the
to be
time.
online.
And so what happens to people like you, like, okay, let's get back to the news after this bit, because it kind of falls into that.
Right.
Because like, for example, with SimCity before, if you didn't have internet connection, if you were having problems, then...
You wouldn't be able to play.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I paid for this, right?
But you can't.
I should be able to play.
And even if you're playing by yourself, single player,
Exactly.
you can't play.
Of course, I understand. If you're playing an MMO, then sorry if you don't have internet.
That makes sense.
Right? That
It's
makes
fine.
sense. But if you're trying to play like a first person, a single person game, single player game, then you should be able to play it without the internet, right?
True.
So, with that, let's get to the news.
Okay. Xiaomi Mi 3, really cool phone. Went on sale, I think, when was that? July? A couple of days ago, actually. And apparently, according to them, it's sold out in less than an hour.
This is Lazada.
This is went on sale, 3,000 units in Lazada.
Exclusively in Lazada.
Yeah.
And what do you call this?
This news comes from PutoTech, by the way.
Yes, the news comes from PutoTech, exclusively available in Lazada, and within how many minutes?
Within an hour.
Within an hour.
They sold all 3,000 units that they had.
Wow.
But good news is, depending on when you're watching this, on July 4, which is tomorrow from now, at 8 a.m. So if you're watching this live,
it's gonna go
on sale again, but not 3,000 units this time, 2,000 units. So a little less.
Let's see how fast that goes.
Right. So
have they been able to fulfill the orders?
I wouldn't know. I'm not sure. But
so we have no idea yet whether people have received it and maybe you made YouTube videos or.
But Lazada has been doing this for a while, right? So
Yeah.
I would assume because of their infrastructure, there would probably be no issues delivering these phones. And there's probably a reason why they went with Lazada, right?
Probably, yeah. Well, honestly, Lazada's the only, it's the closest one to Amazon that we
Right.
have. Okay.
So there, if you want a Xiaomi, tomorrow's your chance, 8 a.m., get ready, Lazada. Another thing, also Lazada, apparently, I just saw this on PutoTech a few minutes before we started the show. The Google Glass is being sold there, and it's selling for a little high. $85,000.
Wait a minute. How much is it being sold in the States?
$1,500.
$1,500
Which
via
in pesos,
Google.
Via Google. In pesos is 65, so that's a 20,000 peso markup. That's a lot.
Well, if it's a hot item and it's not available anywhere.
It's not available here. True, it's a US only thing, right?
Yeah, but CDR King came out with a Google Glass thing, right?
What was it? Was it an actual?
I have no idea.
Did it work?
I don't know.
Oh no! You know what happened? CDR King. There was like a poster, and it said that they were gonna carry it.
Okay.
And then I think a few days later, they
took it down.
They took it down and said, "Oh, that was a mistake." Blah blah blah.
Oh well.
But they didn't end up. Anyway, if you want Google Glass and you have 85,000, I wouldn't spend 85,000 on that.
Neither would I.
And it's the dev version. It's the Explorer version.
It doesn't even have all the apps that you'd you'd expect it to have yet, because people, you have to understand, this is still a developer thing.
They're also still trying to figure out uses for it, right? I mean,
because wearables in general.
Yeah, because it's new. Anyway, but if you have lots of money to spend and you love Google Glass and always wanted to try it.
Yeah, you can send us one or two so we can play with it.
And try it on the show. And I think that does it for the heads up. On to local news, more local news actually.
Okay.
Globe had a recent press conference, and our recent occasional co-host, Alora, wrote this article on Yahoo News. And according to Globe, the article says, Globe claims network now 100% 3G, and we can expect full 4G in the next 3 months.
So, did you read the article?
Yeah.
Okay, so they are saying Globe claims network now 100% 3G.
Yeah. So does that mean that if you're in a 3G capable phone, if you connect to Globe, you should be able to get 3G?
Yeah, you should not see an E or a what's the other one? HSDPA is 4, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you should get 100% of the time. You should get 3G at least.
But right now, I'm pretty sure you can't see that. Let's put up the brightness. Right now, they probably won't be able to see this. But right now, I'm 3 bars of Globe signal, and do you see it?
Oh, focus.
Do you see it?
Focus. Sorry.
Anyway, if it's not focusing properly, it says edge. I have 3 bars and it says edge.
And we are in Makati.
Yeah, we're in Makati, so I'm not sure what's going on here.
Well,
Right? I would give them maybe at least till the end of the year. But the thing is, they're claiming it right now, so it's kind of strange that we're seeing this.
Could it be that there's some sort of a signal blocker somewhere here?
Right. It could be this area.
Yeah, this area is being blocked somehow by an illegal repeater.
That could be it.
Yeah, because I've heard some of their how do you call this, PR videos on YouTube. I've seen them, and that's basically what they say. That their problem currently is, there are some signal repeaters out there that what it does is it basically it takes up all the frequency because it runs on the same frequency, right? Or no? Something like that. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. But it basically takes up that space where it's supposed to be sending the 3G signal. Well,
the Globe CEO also said that you can never satisfy 100% of your customers. So if you think about it, maybe their network really is 100% 3G capable, but there are some areas where you really won't get 3G.
Yeah, but
I
you
would
know
give
what?
them.
I'd
give them that.
I guess there are things that we all have to understand. Like for example, if you're in a parking area, maybe 4 stories down,
right?
Underground, then come on, right?
Yeah.
Unless
that would be expecting too much, right?
Yeah. Even if you're in Makati, right?
Yeah.
If you're way down there, the signal can't penetrate. Then, yeah. Well, okay.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
That they're moving forward.
I do hope though that this becomes as real as we want it to be. Like wherever you are, as long as you're in an area where there's proper infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get 3G.
Yeah.
In related news, PLDT says that they're spending $2 million. How much is that in pesos? To boost the PH US cable link. This is from ABS-CBN.
That's about 88
million.
88 million. Am I correct?
So, do you know about this gateway? Apparently, it's the one that connects us to the US, and it's owned by a bunch of different companies in different countries.
It's basically the undersea cable, right?
Right. So they're doubling the bandwidth apparently, and according to them, it should result in better infrastructure for businesses, but customer experience should also improve.
Does this mean Philippines to US direct?
I think so.
So
I'm not sure about the specifics.
It only costs $2 million to double the bandwidth?
Oh wait, here it says the 500 million cable system. What they're doing is, I think the 2 million is boosting it.
Yeah, so
it's just
Asia.
Oh, okay, I got it. It doesn't. PLDT is contributing 2 million.
Okay.
It's not PLDT.
So
it's all the other companies that own it.
It's Asia America Gateway.
Right.
So it's the whole of Asia going to America. I suppose this is the one that passes through the Pacific Ocean, right?
Yeah.
And so therefore, what PLDT is doing is, they're investing $2 million to help double the bandwidth for the whole of Asia. Okay.
So that's good news. Nothing more to say about that, but that's good. Hopefully, customers will also benefit from that, right?
Yeah, we started late today.
We did.
Our show, right?
Right.
Why?
Because we had to fix the show notes before the show.
We're supposed to do the show notes the day before,
because I have no internet at home, apparently. And it's also because of PLDT.
Okay, so what's happening to your area?
Strange thing. 2 weeks ago, it's been 2 weeks now. I've been getting these weird spikes. Like, I'm on a 5 Mbps plan. That's what I usually expect. There was one night it turned into 20. One night turned into 40.
I saw that. You posted that.
And then the day after, I would just get 0.1, 0.3, and it would be like that for like the whole 2 weeks. Ping is at like 5,000.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's basically unusable at my house. I've just been living off of Globe LTE.
I saw tweets by, who was that?
Teddy
Locsin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
he complains about the exact same thing. And according to PLDT...
Does he live like right beside you?
I don't know. I don't think so. There's a new neighbor actually right next to my house. Maybe could be him. Oh. But according to PLDT, they did say that there's a major cable trouble. So that might be the problem. So that's why we started late.
So now it's data services down in Pasay.
This one is different though. According to this article in ABS-CBN, it's due to a cable theft along a street.
Oh, so someone cut the cable and took it with him.
Which is kind of a douche move. Why would you?
Well, no. I've seen that happen.
But why would they? What benefit would they get from
they bring
cutting
it to
the cable?
No, this is copper. You have to remember the copper wire's thick.
And they sell it?
They sell it. They sell it to junk shops.
Wow. So that's a thing that happens. People cut.
Mm-hmm. It's more fun in the Philippines. Well, anyway, you know what?
That sucks.
Okay, so you're having that issue with PLDT. We, on the other hand, here in Makati aren't, we're on fiber.
That's the difference there.
You're on copper.
Yeah.
You're on copper, we're on fiber. We've had no problems recently, so I'm just being fair here.
Even during the rain, right?
Yeah, during the strongest of rain, we're all good. Now here's the thing, your area, it's kind of high end. I know your area.
Yeah.
I had a friend who lived there. Why is there no fiber there?
I have a friend who lives maybe 2 streets away, and she has fiber.
Okay.
So I'm a little surprised that, I'm not too far away from her house, but I don't have fiber. But, I have a feeling that it's just PLDT hasn't rolled it out yet. I think eventually, just give it maybe a little more time, a year or two.
You know what? I think you should take advantage of the situation and keep on calling and just say, you know what? Why don't you just roll out fiber here? It's been 2 weeks.
Right.
You're not able to fix your copper service. Anyway, there's fiber 2 streets away. Just keep on calling.
Good thing you mentioned that actually. I do complain, and I complain in an organized way. What I did is I created a PLDT complaint template. So it's this file where I have this message for Facebook, an email, and on Twitter. And I basically copy paste and send that to them every day. Until they fix it, I will keep sending them that. So
yeah, well, I hope they listen and
right.
I want you guys to understand that we're not here to bring down any of these companies. We're not here to attack them. I'm just
relaying my actual experience.
Yeah, and so he's getting Enrique's getting really terrible service. We are getting really good service.
The solution:
same company.
Fiber everywhere. That's what we need. PLDT.
That's what we need.
PLDT fiber everywhere.
Yep. So are we gonna
one more thing before we get to Google I/O? How long have you been going? Okay, one last thing. There's this new report from Mac Rumors, and according to them, Chinese media are reporting that the large 5.5-inch iPhone will be called the iPhone Air.
iPhone Air.
Right. And the 4.7 version, the bigger version, but still smaller, should be expected on September 19.
Wait, hold on. So they're calling the big one Air, and they're calling the smaller one.
According to the report, that's what it says. Like, there's nothing about the 4.7-inch being called the Air. It specifically mentions the 5.5 being called the Air.
Well, that's a little strange because I'd expect them to call the smaller one Air.
Right. Maybe.
Wait.
Are they going to call the smaller one the Mini?
No. Hold on. Think about it. This is the Air.
Right.
And there's a Mini.
So, but here, would you want to call an iPhone a Mini? I don't think they want people to, oh, what's your iPhone? It doesn't sound...
Oh, I have the iPhone Mini.
Because it doesn't make it sound like the flagship anymore, right? I think...
Maybe they're going to do an iPhone Pro. No, I'm just kidding.
The 5.5 would be the Pro one.
It should be the Pro one. But if they're going to call it the Air, maybe because it's super thin.
Right.
And then the smaller one, they'll keep it the same name as the iPhone.
That would be strange though if the
because it's thicker.
I'm assuming you think the 5.5 will be thinner than the 4.7
so.
because it's spread out more.
Because it's spread out more, there's more space, there's more real estate for the chips to be, spread apart so they don't have to be tall.
Apple seems like the type that would like their stuff,
thin, yeah.
I mean, like not really just thin, but same thinness. So
not really. Look at the iPod Touch.
Oh, right.
The Touch is really thin, and if that were a phone, that would be a beautiful phone, right?
Yeah, which is what the new phone is supposedly taking its design cues from, right?
But bigger.
Right. So anyway, enough of Apple. On to Google. Google I/O happened last week. Week, or was that last week?
No, it was last week.
Okay.
It was last week. It was it the night before our show?
I think Wednesday.
I think it was Wednesday night.
Right.
Yeah, Wednesday night in the Philippines.
You watched the whole thing? The live stream?
I watched the whole thing. I watched the live stream, and you didn't.
I watched part of it. I was at my friend's house, and we got to watch a bit of it, but then I had to leave because it was getting late. That was, I think, what time was that?
It started at midnight.
Midnight, and it went on to like 3 a.m. or something like that, right? What did you think of the I/O conference?
They're really taking Android. They're not copying iOS.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because WWDC, which we talked about a couple of episodes ago, Apple was taking iOS this way, and and then Amazon came out with theirs, and they went this way, and it seems Google is going another way.
Right.
Let's talk about it first before I bring my opinions about things.
Okay.
The first thing they talked about was
their new design language.
The design,
right?
yeah.
And they're calling it material
design. It's a new visual look.
Do you remember how he introduced it though when they started talking about it? By the way, we're using the Verge's live blog as a sort of guide.
Yeah.
Because they live blogged it. I followed their live blog, and we're going to use that as a guide now, so we can go through everything step by step. Do you remember how he announced it? I think it was Matias Duarte who came out, and he was talking about how material changing depending on how you need it to be.
Yeah.
I thought we were all, suddenly in our heads we were imagining.
It was confusing.
Yeah, I thought there's going to be some bendable screen stuff, right? And it turns out it's actually just a new design that's flatter.
So basically, if you're an app developer, what material design does is you don't have to redesign your app.
Right.
It changes based on the form factor. Right? Like for example, you design an app.
You have to redesign like some elements of it.
But they have strict guides.
Right.
So that it's easy. For example, from a phone to a tablet.
Okay.
To be you don't have to redo the whole UI.
What I meant was redesign from your current Android to the new one. You'd have to because it's different.
Yeah, and like I said, they have strict guidelines.
Yeah, but from device to device, there's less work now.
There's a lot less work, which is so much better because you see, my problem currently with Android is that most of the apps are designed for the phone.
Right.
And so if you have a tablet, it's just like
it's blown up.
It's blown up. It does not look like a tablet app.
There are a few, but
but then again, those are really just for the tablet.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is a good move by Google for Android, and
it looks great.
It looks great. I like the shadows. I like the flatness. It takes a lot of its design cues from the cards.
Right, Google Now.
And it's a very, very simple design that's elegant and simple and not confusing.
Right. And what was I going to mention? They also mentioned the phones and the tablets, right? But it's also going to be the web and TV
and the car,
right?
And
like
the wearables.
They said and beyond, right?
Yes.
So the other thing that they mentioned was 1 billion active Android users per month. That's a lot. And to help do that, they introduced a new sort of initiative, right? Called
Android One.
Android One. And
so, okay, what is Android One?
Basically, isn't it like a sort of, it's just a guide.
These are the guidelines. Yeah,
guideline for manufacturers to be able to build, for now at least, for this one that they introduced, really affordable smartphones. And the first...
Okay, I believe the reasoning for this is that, unfortunately, the more affordable Android devices
aren't very good. Unless you're Motorola.
Yes.
And those aren't under 100.
Yes.
That's like maybe 150, 140.
And here they're targeting the sub 100 phones, right? We're not attacking, again, disclaimer, we are not attacking, the local companies who come out with Android phones. It's just that prior to Android One, you were it was up to you, right? As a manufacturer to come up with whatever.
KitKat sort of helped with lowering the requirements and all of that.
Yes, but then again, if you're a manufacturer and you have no guide, you just think, okay, so how will we sell?
How do we make this affordable, right?
This versus that, right? Because there has to be some sort of difference. Because why would you buy the high-end one if it's very similar to the low-end one, right?
Right.
Which is what Nokia used to do, right?
With the
So like, old school phones.
yeah.
Like for example, the candy bar phones, for 2,000 pesos more, you can get Bluetooth. And for another 2,000 pesos, you can get up to 1,000 contacts versus the 500 contacts of the lower model.
Or their design even, right?
Yeah.
But the problem with this is the lower end stuff of Android really suffer. Because we've noticed that even on flagship Android phones, like let's say the S5, people still complain about lag, right?
Yes. KitKat was supposed to fix that. No.
Project Butter.
Project Butter was supposed to fix
I think
that.
that's what it was called.
Yeah.
And our friend Alfonso Martinez of Robot Rice, he has an Xperia. I think Sony's previous flagship phone, and according to him, he's still suffering from lag.
Oh, really?
And it's a flagship Sony Android phone. It has
hold
all
on.
these
This
specs.
is the what was that? What model is he using?
I think it might just be the Z. It's
the
not
Z.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not supposed to be.
So hopefully, because Google has all these guidelines, those lower end phones will be.
I read a lot of comments from people saying that. So is this Google going the Apple way?
Why would it be going the Apple way?
You know how Apple is strict with their guides.
Oh, right.
Like when you develop, it has to be this way. And Google, when they began with Android, they were saying, no, you can do whatever you want, right? Do whatever you want. Which became a problem when it came to fragmentation. So people are now saying
they're not going Apple, because that's a whole different story. But they are tightening things.
Is it not? Because I understand what they're saying. Because they're saying, here, Google's not manufacturing the phones, right?
Right.
Unlike Apple. Apple manufactures their phones. Google comes up with the OS. But the thing is now Google tells the manufacturers, hey, you have to follow this set of guidelines.
Right.
So basically they are controlling, not as much as Apple, but they still are controlling, hey, you have to use this, you have to use that. Do they say what chipsets you have to use?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I guess they do, because that's one way of ensuring that it flows like butter, right? Because if a cheap model, an affordable model is brought out with subpar what do you call this?
Processor,
subpar GPU, and all that, then there's no way it can be smooth.
And that also applies to software, because remember how just recently Samsung was kind of told.
Yes.
It wasn't out in the public, right? But we were hearing murmurs that apparently Samsung was being told to maybe
by Google
tone back their skins,
Google,
right?
Yeah.
And we've noticed that in all Android phones now, right? They'll launch with the Android, the logo.
Yes.
And their skins are significantly toned back.
Yeah, it's no longer too Samsung-y.
Yeah, touch wizzy, right?
Yeah.
So I guess in a way it is them. I think it's good that they're doing that, though.
I think so. I think so too. But you know what? We are.
It's still open at the end of the day.
Disclaimer: we are Apple fans, right? I mean, people know that, obviously. But we're not saying this. We're not saying we think Google's going in the right direction because we are Apple fans, because that's what Apple does. No, but we think fragmentation really is an issue.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing stopping me from going Android.
Right.
Because I like some Android phones. I find them beautiful. Some I even find better looking than the iPhone.
Like the HTC.
Yeah, the HTC.
Or even the LG G3.
Yeah, I just can't stand the size.
It's way too big, right?
It's way too big for me.
That's another thing they have to fix. I mean, have high-end flagship phones that aren't ridiculously sized, right? I mean, if let's say you have...
Well, I think that's what the one before this kind of... what's that? Before Android 1?
Material design?
Material design. I think that solves that. Meaning, if you come up with a high-end big phone and a high-end smaller phone, the design works for both.
Hopefully. Because it's also up to the manufacturers. Because sometimes you'll see you have the S5, it has all these specs, right? And then they'll sell an S5 Mini, which is easier to hold, but then they start to take away stuff like,
that's what I was talking
lower
about a while ago.
processor and all that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about a while ago. To be able to sell cheaper, the more expensive stuff, they take away from the cheaper stuff.
Yeah.
Because if it had the same features, then people would probably buy, the smaller one. I don't know. It depends. But you see, if for example there was an Android phone from the same manufacturer that's, for example, 5.5 and 4.7 for the same price, you think it would be bad for business?
I think it would be good because you'll hit more markets that way.
I think so too.
Right?
And I think that's not how they see it. I think the way they see it, you know what? For the big phone to sell more, we have to take away from the small phone.
Yeah, high spec on the big one, right?
Low spec on the small. I think it's wrong.
I think it just gives people like real choice with their phone,
Exactly.
right? I still want the fastest one, but I just don't want it to be that big.
Yeah, I don't like me. That's exactly me.
Right?
I don't think, with my skinny jeans, I don't think I could fit a big ass phone.
Which I'm curious if Apple will make a mistake there, because in September apparently they're gonna announce 2 iPhones, right? That's the rumor. And how are they gonna approach this? The 5.5 one is the high-end iPhone.
Because it's called Air.
Yeah, and is the smaller screen have a slower?
But no, you know what? I don't think
processor?
Apple's
Are
gonna
they
make
be
that
the
mistake.
same?
I don't think they're gonna make that mistake. Look at this. The iPad Mini
Right.
versus the iPad Air.
They have the same.
It's the same.
It's just
It's just really choice.
It's just clocked lower by like 0.1.
Yes, who cares, right? I think it's more, Apple is giving the consumers, the customers, the choice of what size screen you want.
But what about price though? I mean, we've heard rumors that the bigger iPhone might be $100 more.
Well, if the screen costs $100 more, then so be it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
It makes sense. I mean, come on.
As long as it's not, this one has the A8X, the processor, and then the other one has the A8.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as they don't do that.
Unless one is not Retina.
Right.
So it doesn't need the X.
Yeah, the other one will have like a super Retina screen or something.
But
it'll be fragmentation. And
yes, I wouldn't want that either.
Right.
I'd rather they both had the same.
Yeah.
Both Retina. Of course, the bigger one would probably have to push more pixels. So the GPU might have to be a little bit stronger.
Right.
Because the last thing you want is like the iPad 3.
Was it bad?
Oh yeah, it was bad.
It couldn't push the
Retina
Retina
because it was
display.
the first Retina of the iPad, and I didn't notice it back then, and I was pissed off when the iPad 4 came out.
Yeah, not
because
so
I just bought the iPad 3.
Right.
But then now that I'm able to install newer apps on the iPad 3, which pushes more, which pushes the GPU more, now I'm starting to feel it. Now I understand why they had to do it. And I respect them for it.
Yeah.
They pissed off a lot of people, but now I understand why.
But they did piss off a lot.
Oh, they pissed me off.
That was horrible.
They pissed me off.
I do think it's really important that Apple does it, because I think we're talking about Apple because this could potentially influence what Android does next. I mean, those manufacturers. If Apple does 2 screens, they're both high end and maybe different in price.
Similarly spec'd?
Yeah, maybe it could convince Samsung, HTC, Sony to say, when we have our flagship phone, it doesn't have to be 5.5 only. Maybe we could have a 4.7 version that's similarly spec'd.
Yes.
Right?
I have a question. I'm not very well versed with Samsung's products.
Right.
So the Note and the S series, both the top end models.
I'm not sure. The
are they similarly spec'd?
I'm not sure. We'd have to look that up right now. I can't remember the specs off the top of my head. But back to Google I/O.
Interns.
The other
research, please.
The other thing that they announced was more Android Wear. They didn't announce it, but they showed it off more, right? And they also announced during the conference that 2 of them would be going on sale. The LG, what is the name? The LG G Watch and the Samsung Gear Live.
Both the square ones.
Yeah, both square ones. They went live for pre-order during the event. And then the Moto 360, the round one, which everybody was, raving about,
Everyone wants that.
They said it would be later this summer, and then you hear in the crowd people going, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then it even made the Google guy laugh.
Sorry. Speaking of the crowd, I'm going a little out of.
That's fine. That's fine.
Did you see?
No.
the
What's up with the crowd?
That guy that had the placard,
Was he like cheering?
No.
Why? Oh, right, the protest people, right? Wasn't there two?
Yeah, the first one happened, I think, during a little break when they were transitioning from one topic to another.
Yeah.
And the other one happened while I forgot his name was speaking. It was.
But one was about like the rising prices in San Francisco real estate or something, right? And what was the other one?
I'm not sure. I think
what were they protesting about?
Wasn't it the same?
They're both talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I think it was the same because the day before there were people that were arrested by the police outside of Google's premises.
Interesting that happens.
Or within Google's premises.
I'm wondering how that happened though. Don't you have to pay to get into Google I/O?
Yeah, but if
did they like pay the thing?
They probably did.
They got like the whole dev credential. They went in there and then they put up their sign.
They probably did.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
But hey, it got them noticed, right? It worked actually.
It did. And in fact, you're right. There was another one. I have to remember. If I remember, I'll say.
Okay. But anyway, back to the watch. What do you think of Android Wear so far?
I like it. I think it needs more. It needs to do more, a little bit more than what it does now. Now it's basically a notification thing, which is cool though because it acts like the cards in Google
Now. It's basically a Google Now device, right?
Yeah.
And the notification.
It basically vibrates every time you have an important notification.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pull out your phone, but it does not get me to buy a watch again, because to me, ever since smartphones, ever since cell phones.
Cell phones, right?
I stopped using a watch.
It became your alarm clock.
It became everything. It became my
watch.
time.
Right. But the thing with this though, what would you need it to do for you to want a smartwatch?
I don't know.
You just need it to do more than just that.
I need it to do something more.
Like notifications isn't enough for you.
Yeah, because
to sell you on a watch.
The thing is, you kind of need to be with your phone.
Right.
Right. And so I don't expect this thing to replace what the phone does because I don't think it can.
It's not meant to.
It's not meant to. It's too small. But I think there has to be something more to it. You have to get people to want it, to need it.
Right.
And right now, as a notification thing, just so you don't have to pull your phone out, I think it lacks.
Yeah.
At least for me, it won't pull me in.
But the good thing is with Android Wear, it's like that right now. I mean, once the devs get more time on it, once more apps come out.
Like everything today, when you release it, it's this way, but software update later.
Android Wear next
totally
year
different.
could be like a must-have, right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Or maybe Apple will announce theirs and
it'll start this little race.
Competition,
Because I think it's really just going to be those two, right? I mean, Samsung announced what was their smartwatch that came out before this?
The thing with the camera, which I find really ridiculous.
Right, it was the Gear, right? It was kind of ridiculous. I have a feeling they're basically not going to do that anymore, and they're just going to use Android Wear. Because they had their own OS, right, based on Tizen.
Yes.
And I have a feeling, who knows, maybe they'll do one more, but the smart thing would be to just do Android Wear.
So how do you feel about talking to your phone? Talking to your watch.
You mean if I were to get a phone call?
No.
Oh, you mean using it as like for searching stuff?
Yeah.
I think that would be really convenient. Like, there are times where I could just leave my phone in my pocket. If I want to do a quick Google search, I could just say, "Okay, Google," and then search for a certain fact, like how much is blah blah blah, and then we can just search it.
I probably would be eating my words in the future. I don't know how long, but honestly,
right now it's not.
Right now, I can't say, "Hey, where's the nearest coffee shop?" I think it's gonna look a little too. There you go, Power Rangers.
Speaking of Power Rangers, actually, did you hear that there's a new Power Rangers coming out?
Really?
I think it's coming out couple of years from now, but it's from the company that
Pico, show us a website. No, I'm just kidding.
Pressure, Pico. Pico, you're too slow. Oh, you missed out. The same people that handled the Hunger Games, pretty sure they're going to be bringing Power Rangers back to the big screen.
Oh, yeah, I read about this. This
Right?
was like for last week.
Was that last week?
Last or 2 weeks ago.
Something like that,
We missed it, right?
But yeah, I'm excited. Power Rangers.
Yeah,
I love
it's the
Power
same.
Rangers.
It's the same people as the Hunger Games production.
Yeah, is that the production company or the film company? Whatever.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter. Back to IO though. Android Auto, another screen, a different size screen.
Android Auto basically uses the same user interface that I keep forgetting
material
the name.
design.
Yeah, the material design, which makes it simple really for apps for the phone to be ported there, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, do you think this thing will be exclusive? I mean, because I saw the list of cars that were in the project already.
Yeah.
And Audi is there. So many cars are there. So many car brands are there. And it some of the car brands are the same as what Apple signed with. Signed up with Apple.
Company is part of the Open Automotive Alliance.
Yes. So is Apple's
CarPlay? I'm not sure.
Is CarPlay with the Open Automotive Alliance?
I am not sure.
Because if it is, then it makes sense. Because the last thing I want is to have I buy a car, and then the guy goes, "Oh, sir, so which version do you want? The CarPlay version or the Android version?" Right?
But isn't that like a dashboard thing? Couldn't you buy the car and then switch out your dashboard?
Yeah, but you wouldn't want that. So, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to have to replace it.
I did a quick search, and according to 9to5Mac, car makers will offer Android Auto alongside CarPlay later this year. So
what does that mean?
I guess you get to choose.
No, but that's what I mean.
Many of the companies are also confirmed partners of CarPlay. And at least some of them plan to launch both simultaneously.
Okay, that confirms my thing. So that means Apple is not part of the Open Alliance, right? Because they would have said it there.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, now here's the problem. So right now I'm an Apple fanboy, right?
Fanboy.
Yeah, that's what people call me. So
did you have people call you out on being an Apple fanboy?
No, I mean, probably both of us.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm putting words into their mouth. And into the 2 people that's watching this.
two people only?
I don't know, or maybe 3. And that includes my wife.
Okay.
Maybe 4 includes my mom. But anyway, here's the thing. So when you buy a car, for example, you buy an Audi, right? An R8.
Yeah.
You're that type of person. For example, I do, and I'm an Apple guy. I'm everything. Most of the things I own are Apple. So I pick the CarPlay version.
Yeah.
What if mid-year
you switch to Android?
Android comes up with this really great thing that I want to move towards.
And you want it in your car.
What happens to my car? Do I have to pull out that whole system?
Okay.
And then replace it? That would suck. Because cars aren't cheap.
I know. But here, at least you're not changing the entire car. At least it's not a
We
car.
don't know that.
I am pretty sure you wouldn't have to, because that would be just really dumb.
No, because think about it this
if
way.
you had to change.
They
might
might
have a CarPlay car.
Okay, knowing these guys, technology, Google even wanting to come up with a self-driving car.
Yeah.
So they're not limiting themselves to just as the dashboard. Up to a certain point, these companies want to be able to control the car.
Right.
So what if you'll be able to start the car using CarPlay or using...
That would be pretty cool, actually.
It would be cool, right? But my question is, because the standard won't be the same, will it be interoperable?
I think it might depend on manufacturers, because here it says that Honda, which is a confirmed
partner for both,
will say applicable Honda vehicles will be cross-compatible with CarPlay and Android Auto. The vehicle will automatically detect the smartphone OS.
Well, that would be so much better.
if they all do that.
Yes, I wouldn't want to have to replace the whole dash and whatever
because it's
else,
a CarPlay dash or something.
and whatever else special wiring
that's connected to the other parts of the car.
Yes, just to, like for example, if maybe in the future you could say, okay, windshield wipers on.
Yeah.
You know, then that would need to have special wiring.
You're so lazy. You could just.
I know. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Right? That's not even a rumor. That's just me.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to replace all that wiring just to make it compatible.
And I think since it's not out yet, there's lots of time. If they want to do this right, that's how it would be. The Honda way. Because right now that's the only one I see here. That the vehicle will automatically detect it.
Hey, do you know we've hit an hour?
Have we? Oh, man.
Yeah, so we're going to have to speed this up.
It's 9. Okay. Sorry, Mo. Okay.
Where are we next?
What else did we not talk about with Android? With Google I/O?
What else is important?
Android TV. Holy crap. Okay.
Okay, so how do we speed that up? Android TV basically is...
It's a set-top box this time, right? It's not Google TV. Remember Google TV where it failed and it was part of the whole TV experience?
Wait, is that the Q?
No. The Q is different.
Yeah, that one's terrible.
The circular.
Yeah, the paperweight.
The paperweight, exactly. Yeah. But this one is apparently set-top boxes, right?
So it's like the Apple TV.
It's like the Apple TV.
It's like the Fire TV.
Exactly like those. And there are a bunch of companies who announced support. Razer announced a micro console that's using Android TV. One of the things that they pushed actually with Android TV is gaming, right?
Okay, so Apple again is late.
Behind, right? So,
but look, they're copying their Apple's form factor.
It's a box. How many types of boxes can you make?
Remember what they used to look like. Like
right,
Google even came out with that stupid.
Yeah, and now they're all starting to look kind of like this, which I don't mind. It looks great. And the UI actually looks good, right?
Yeah. It's very what do you call this? It matches the design of what do you call that? A material design. Material design. Yeah,
can never get that.
But you know what? It looks really good. It's simple enough. It doesn't look all too complicated.
There's a dedicated section for games, but then
the nice thing, like what he showed just a while ago, I like how you can control the device with your watch or
your phone. So you could be playing against somebody who's using a controller, and then you're on your phone.
Yep.
And you guys can play the same game, but then you're playing Android games.
Yeah.
Not that that's they're good games, but then.
Yeah. And there's quite a big possibility that there will be more games because of this.
Right. And the fact that Razer's a very gaming centric.
Oh yeah.
Company,
definitely.
But they're also the type that likes to really push things.
Yes.
So
is Asus.
Yeah. Is it? It's Asus, right?
I don't know.
I think it's Asus, not Asus.
Okay.
That should be our thing. Like we should have a segment where it's just
how to pronounce the proper way.
Right.
Like I remember going to the States, and I went to the sports shop and I bought like a jersey.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, I want. Do you sell any Umbro?
It's
brands?
not Umbro. It's Umbro.
And then the guy goes, what? I go, Umbro. See that again? I go, Umbro. Oh, Umbro. No, but it's Umbro.
It's Umbro.
Yeah, but the Americans call it
Umbro. Right. And I was in a car filled with Koreans, and they all kept quiet, and they asked me, how do you pronounce the brand, the make of this car? And I was like, Hyundai? And then they just burst into laughter. I was like, what? And we're just laughing. And my friend tapped me, he's like, it's Hyundai.
Hyundai.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, Hyundai. I know, you got this entire car filled with Koreans to laugh at me. Anyway, we have to finish.
Wait, you know, okay, Filipinos pronounce it blow punked.
What's that?
You know that dash,
okay, yeah.
Blow punked.
Okay, what is that?
It's blau punked.
Oh man.
Anyway, okay, let's stop with that.
That should be a segment. Anyway, Android TV looks more promising than Google TV, right? And the other thing, what's the other thing they announced?
So wait,
missing something.
Is it as powerful as the Amazon TV, the Fire TV?
I think it depends what chip they're putting in. If they're gonna put the
they haven't announced it.
I'm not sure. If they put the K1, then it's in pretty good shape, the Tegra K1 from NVIDIA. But anyway, since we're running out of time, let's move on. The last thing I think they announced, no, one of the last things is Google Fit health platform, which is basically what Apple is doing with HealthKit, right? It's like the same. So if you know what HealthKit is, it's Google's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be added to Android Wear.
It's. I don't think that Google's there to copy Apple. I think it's just really.
This is where everything is trending towards, right?
That's how it is. I mean, there's
no
other way to do it.
Right. And then the other thing is, woman interrupts Google keynote speech to protest housing evictions.
Yeah.
Housing evictions. Okay. And then native. This is another big one. To Chrome OS, they're going to be able to run native Android apps. And then another thing was, they're doing Apple's continuity thing with Chrome OS, right?
Yes.
But that means since they're doing it with Chrome OS, they're also potentially doing it with anything that runs Chrome.
The Chrome browser, you mean?
The Chrome browser, right?
But the Chrome browser cannot play the apps.
Yeah. I'm talking about continuity.
Yes. Okay.
Like what they said was, you'd get the notification on your Android phone.
That's the advantage of Apple in that space. Apple is a full-on OS that a lot of people use.
Yeah.
So therefore, a lot of people would like the continuity of Apple, because apps.
And it's also a really smart move by Google, because I'm pretty sure Chrome is the most used browser in the world, right now.
Yes.
So.
Except I don't use it.
I stopped using it. I stopped
using it too.
Because of OS
battery.
10. But battery, right? But if they allow continuity with Android devices with Chrome browsers, not just Chrome OS, because how many people do you know with Chrome OS, right? Like hardly anybody. But if you
especially here.
Yeah. But if you do that with Chrome browsers,
it works.
It opens it up to so many people, because there are so many people who have Android phones use the Chrome browser.
From Chrome browser to Android mobile device, it's still going to be so limited to, for example, your browsing,
right,
or your email.
It's basically notification.
Yes, but for example, my issue here is, like for example, Evernote. You won't be able to push
what you were doing,
right?
Yeah, I think at this point it's really just notifications.
Yeah, we have to end.
We have to end. I think we covered everything, right? We did.
We probably missed a few things. Hopefully we didn't miss something really big. But if we did, hey, let us know.
Yeah.
We're so sorry. We're out of time. But you know what? We like making you feel like we missed a lot, so that you
keep going.
You talk to us.
Let's keep going. So thanks for watching, and if you want to send us questions.
That's what I was saying.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I said.
Okay. Anyway, if you want to send us questions, putotech.com/contact or in the description. Search for PutoTech on iTunes. Is that where they can find us?
Yes, and on YouTube, just type youtube.com/nmftv.
Or go to nmftv.com.
Yes. That's it. Goodbye, Putos!
The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.